joined in the studio by the General Manager at the SA Agri Awards, Ayanda Mnguni, and she and I are going to unpack this year's awards, what they mean for the sector, who is eligible to enter, and how this platform continues to elevate agricultural success stories nationwide. Ayanda, good to see you.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good, thanks. I expected you to be much more exhausted because I've been watching the action on the SA Agri Awards Instagram page in particular, and your run across the TVET colleges doing work. Talk to us about the SA Agri Awards and the work around that.
So what we do around that is that we've got an initiative with the TVET college space, with SAPCO as well, where we are trying to green the TVET space. We're putting a garden in every college, and we've got 27 in our pilot year, and we're just trying to make agriculture fashionable.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And how are young students kind of seeing this project, and are they excited to sustain it? Because I think that's the most important thing, is making it a sustainable project.
The excitement is there, but there's a lot of fear as well. There's a lot of fear in, but I want to be an engineer. You know, what am I doing? You know,
but you need to eat as well.
But you need to eat. But
Right.
I think what the program has assisted us to do is to open the eyes and the minds of young people into this sector that is agriculture. You know, it's not just about the crops or the livestock and small stock. You know, there's a whole entire business behind it. So I think that's the biggest thing. I think a takeaway from me that we've been able to achieve in this.
Okay. SA Agri Awards, very exciting. It feels like 2 weeks ago when we were just talking about the 2025 festivities, and the last time we had a conversation on air, it was literally a week before the main ceremony, which was a huge success.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Even if I have to say so myself.
Well done to you, and you've got a really amazing team. So let's reflect back on the year 2025, the awards, and being backed by AgriSeta, the relationship there. Yeah, talk to us about last year's ceremony.
2025 was so exciting. It was a year for us where we officially, put a stamp on it with the AgriSeta partnership, which allowed us the privilege of being recognized in the industry as a whole. You know, we weren't just a small organization that was wanting to celebrate agriculture. We're now a player in the agricultural sector. So that was very exciting. Again, 2025, we had over 3,000 entries.
Wow.
We had over it was a lot to work with, number of categories as well, but there was so much excitement. Farmers are really, really excited. Farmers want to demonstrate what they're doing. Farmers want to share their knowledge. Farmers really are out there, they want the glitz and the glam, but they also put in all the hard work, because our entry process is also quite strict, and we've designed it that way because we want this to be legit. I say we want this to be legit. It is legit, and we want people to work for this type of award. It's not a popularity contest.
That's right.
It is something that we want people to take pride in. When you win the South African Agricultural Award, it means you're earning stripes, amongst everything else, and the accolades and everything else, but you really are recognized by your peers in the industry, and that is really what we got to see in 2025. Very exciting evening in Durban, and people showed up in their numbers. It was very exciting, very, very exciting.
Oh man, it's wonderful to see the archives even to this day. So this is us. It's 1:15 p.m. in Central African time. We're discussing the SA Agri Awards. The entries are now open. So if you work in the agricultural value chain overall, whether you're a farmer, an innovator, you work in technology, you are whatever it is that you're doing in agriculture, there must be a category in there for you somewhere. Let's, what first drew me to the awards, the categories.
Yes,
I'm not gonna lie, the categories themselves are like an education of what agriculture is,
Yes.
and the opportunities,
The value chain.
the value chain, and also integrating other spaces like supporting fraternities, technology, innovation, the pioneers that have kept the sector together, but that are taking it to the next level.
Yes.
So let's talk about these categories. They are so unique, and they offer so much more than just an award.
Yeah. So what we are very big on showing people the entire value chain. It's not just about, like I said, it's not just about the crops and the small scale. We want people to be able to plug themselves in whatever industry that they're currently in. We want people to see themselves participating in agriculture, right? So we look at something like doctors in medicine. Now that for me was an exciting one when we thought about it, because these are medical doctors that are advocating for us to participate in agriculture, eat well, exercise, do this, do that. And you see how traditional medicine or Western medicine is merging with our traditional way of life, without competing, which is very exciting. We've got people that will participate and in the agri-processing sector, people making body products, from agriculture, right? So it's very exciting, fermented products, body butter. What do you mean, right? These are not industries or sectors that people would typically be aware of, but we all consume this product. But here we are, and we're wanting to celebrate everyone. We want people to see that there's value in what they do. The person that buys that raw shea butter and decides to do something with it,
right.
That is agri-processing. Those are the things that we want to celebrate. Those are the things that we want to highlight. And then also, paying homage to the people that keep us fed, paying homage to the people that do the hard work of being out in the farm, whether it's raining or whatever the conditions are.
That's true.
Commercial farming is also quite big as well. Small stock farming, that is also something we call it small stock, but it is a big industry in South Africa. A lot of people are finding themselves playing in those fields, but they don't necessarily know where to go. So when people enter these categories, they are then able to network, right? Because one thing about a competition, it will force you to check yourself, right? It will force you to sort of see and play on check which field am I playing at.
Healthy competition. Yeah.
Correct. Healthy competition is very important to us as well. So those are designed specifically to say, what else are we doing? Juicing is a big thing. People are juicing a lot, and where does juicing come from? And we want to celebrate the person that has started this business of juicing. So it's a big thing. It caters for everyone because we want people to see themselves participating in agriculture.
Very important, very important. Just on that note of the categories, are there any new categories for the year 2026, or are you just keeping it traditional?
No, so we've actually scaled them down a little bit because we wanted it to. We've merged certain categories together. We've merged certain categories together, but we've kept the ones that are long-standing, like the work we do with the TVET colleges. We've got a category for them as well, because we want them to see how big they can actually get.
Nice.
And commercialize and whatever it is that they're doing. So yeah, we've merged a couple of them. We're now on 27 categories, and we want this to be, we're not wanting to be this big for the sake of it being big. We want it to be impactful. So we've scaled it down just a little bit, but it's still big. It's still impactful.
Still in conversation with Ayanda Mnguni, who is the general manager of the awards, and she's got a wonderful team, okay, that she's been working with to make sure that this year's entries are in and that they are of good quality. I like that you mentioned that the awards are very inclusive of people, whether they're small scale or whether they are pioneers, and looking at the vastness of the value chain, whether it's scientists or the farmer who's farming carrots, or people that are coming up with the drones, for example. So everyone is included. But what exactly are you looking for? Because you are quite strict as to the caliber of people that enter. What exactly are the judges looking for?
I think it's not necessarily caliber in the normal sense of normal understanding of the word, but we're looking for purity. We're looking for the story. We're looking for grit, right? We're looking for honesty. I think there's such beauty in people's honesty and the reason why people do what they do. And authenticity is a big thing that we really look for. We've done it that way because it's so easy in this time of social media, right? For somebody to come into your farm, take a couple of pictures, post on the gram, and they get all the likes, and therefore they monetize based off your products. So we're wanting people to really show us, and we've catered to people in their different learning styles as well. So what we've done this year is that you'll see on our website there's different types of evidence that one can produce. You can either submit documents, you can either send a video, or you can do pictures, because we realize that not everybody's good at taking pictures, right? Maybe you've got a phone that's not so great, but you are able to write and articulate yourself.
Got it.
Similarly, there's people that can't read or write, but they're out there doing the Lord's work. That person can get on video and they can tell us their story. Do you see what I mean? So it's not necessarily, and each category has its own criteria. Okay, and people can download a PDF document from our website that will give them the criteria. So I would implore people that when you are submitting your entry, look at that document, look at the criteria, and answer the criteria. Okay, it's not enough. Don't be lazy about it, and don't leave it for last minute. Look at the criteria and answer to the points of the criteria. Do you know what I mean? It's going to take some time, but you take time to do your work on a normal basis, right? You can't submit an entry and assume that we know what you're doing. Remember, we don't know you. We might, because we do all of these road shows and we assist people across the country, but that's not enough. The adjudicators don't know you. So we need to be comfortable with telling our stories. People need to be comfortable telling us about themselves. So we've done it in that way to cater to every single person, so that nobody says, oh, but I'm too small, or no, I don't speak great English. No, I can't. Write to us, submit your evidence in whatever language that you feel comfortable in.
Love that.
Right? Because food security does not only speak English. Right? Food security is food security because we need to eat every single day. Just because you don't speak English doesn't mean you're not going to eat that day. Do you know what I mean? So we're wanting people to come as they are. Very important. We also have a saying around the office: start where you are with what you have. We've got a category for young people, students. We don't expect students to have hectares and hectares of land. If you do, great, but if you don't, what do you have? Show us what you have. Tell us your story. Let us see where you're going with this, right? We've got a category for foundational education. These are primary school, high school, schools where people, students and teachers are coming together, and they're sharing the love of agriculture and doing something around planting, whether they're growing chickens, whatever it is. So do you see how we're really wanting everyone to be part of this, as long as what you do is authentic, as long as what you do is what is yours. I think that's also a big thing. We will be going around the country to verify, the ones that, the nominees. We will be coming to verify. You said you have 18 hectares. Do you have 18 hectares? Certain categories are very strict, like the commercial ones. They want to see certain documentation, business documentation. So that's why I'm saying it's very important for people to go through the criteria and answer the criteria.
Okay, listen, if you want this award, and it's not an award for the sake of it, I think, Ayanda, you were able to establish that very quickly in the conversation, that this award holds weight.
Yes.
In terms of one's contribution to agriculture. There's something about the awards that, just on that note, that is also about helping people to see that we have problems in agriculture, but that is also helping people come out of that and helping them sort of spotlight solutions.
Yes.
You mentioned the work with the TVET colleges. Anything else that you'd like to highlight around how the awards themselves are helping people to really spotlight where the solutions are and how we can get there?
I think the biggest thing, if you look across the categories and how they've been designed, and if you look at them on the website, they've been categorized into, I want to call them categories, into little subsectors. And people are then able to look at it and go, but if a conglomerate is able to do this type of thing, how then do they get their crops or their harvest to market? If we're going to have a category for entrepreneurship, what is the link, right? So we're unlocking questions in people's minds, and therefore they are then able to come up with the business questions and therefore start answering the business questions. And for us, that is really where the gem is, right? So now you already know that people need to take their crops. Why I keep saying crops? People take their harvest to market, but the harvest is not necessarily walking itself to market, is it? It needs to be transported there. Now, does every single farmer have transport? That is a problem in the agricultural sector.
Yeah.
Now, I have studied, somebody might sit and say, well, I've studied logistics. I know how to do a logistical plan. Somebody else says, yeah, well, I've got access to vehicles. That is a business problem that we've just identified, so we're wanting people to look at that and start asking those questions, and therefore unlocking new streams of income for themselves. Agriculture is a place where money can be made if you're asking the right questions and providing the right service to the right market.
Absolutely. That's very, very important. Oh my goodness, so exciting. Okay, so people want to know now, like, where do I click? Where's the button so I can submit these documents and get this done? Because entries are now open. In fact, I'm on the website at the moment, and you cannot miss it. Big yellow button, enter now.
Yes.
But yeah, to take us through it.
Okay, so enter now. You'll see, let me just go there on my side, entries. Right, so enter now. And you'll fill in your personal information, and then you get down to the nitty-gritty. Okay. Now, a difference that we've done this year is that for each category that a person would like to enter for, they then have to submit a different entry for, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to do Farmer of the Year, you have to complete your application for Farmer of the Year, complete all of your evidence for Farmer of the Year, submit, and then go back and do, commercial Farmer of the Year as well, if that is what you want to do. Where previously people were able to just tick, and then submit. But now we're wanting people to be more vigilant, about what they are submitting, because you can't submit the same evidence for different categories because they've got different criteria. You see. So yeah, entry form, you'll fill in your name and surname, your ID number. Now, this is a South African ID number. We are looking for South African people, naturally South African people. You've got your email address, your physical address there as well. Documentation to be uploaded, ID document that allows us to verify, your status in South Africa. And then we've got a picture. Everybody likes a selfie or two.
A little selfie won't hurt.
Yes. Selfie is always great. And then you pick your category. There's a drop down menu, and then you pick your category like that. Very simple. Once you've chosen your category, it'll then give you the criteria, and then you submit your evidence. Now, if you look there, it says supporting materials, right? You've got pictures, videos, documents. I think I've spoken to this already. that is very important. That the onus is upon the person that is entering to convince the adjudicators that they are worthy of this award. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's not necessarily, I can't say to you, submit your CEO, your business documents, your this. You know what you do. You know how best to sell what you do. So that is what you submit.
Okay.
We've given you the opportunity to do so there as well. And then, everybody likes a story, 300 words. Tell us why you should win. You accept the terms and conditions and you submit your entry. And just like that,
You're in. And can I just say, even a nomination is good enough, because that's already sort of an association with, the quality of agriculture in South Africa. So even that on its own is an accolade. So make sure that you enter. Very simply, go to agriawards.co.za. It's such a simple email address, agriawards.co.za. Some of the categories I'm noting here are Farmer of the Year. That's a huge category. Young Farmer of the Year, another very, very important one. Sustainable Initiative Award. What's another one? Agri-Tech Innovation Award. Listen, so many critical categories here that can really showcase the work that you are doing. Doctors in agriculture, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So novel, so beautiful.
Yeah. And that's medical doctors. I think I need to stress that. We've got educational doctors. We love what you guys do and all the research that you guys do. But this one is specifically for the medical doctors. We're wanting that because we are trying to tie in with the food security, and the healthy living and all of that. So that one I must put out there. That is for medical doctors.
Okay, very important. And also with that category, it also just shows you that the awards are, you guys think really big, because you're not just looking, you mentioned that it's not just about the carrots and the beetroot, but it's really about agriculture, but also looking at its supporting fraternities as well.
Yes.
Medicine is a supporting fraternity. Automobile is a supporting fraternity. Technology is definitely a supporting fraternity.
Culinary sector.
Culinary.
We've got a culinary. We've got a whole category dedicated to the culinary sector. That is the Culinary Excellence Award.
I see it there.
Last year, I think we called it the Upcoming Chef. So that one was also quite special. Okay, because we know we've got people that go out and study, get the Michelin stars and all of that. But we really opened it up to the caterer, the person from Ekasi that runs a catering business, that cooks at funerals and weddings. We opened it up to those people as well, because they are the ones that support our local market. That local market comes from our local farmers. Do you see where we are trying to go with this? And as part of their evidence, they needed to show us, where do you buy your produce that you're cooking with? They needed to show us, are you buying from the big people, or are you going down to your local market? And that really assisted people, or the person that ultimately won, because she was specifically and very intentionally going out to the local market, forming very beautiful relationships with her producers, and really that is what we want people to do. If we support each other, if everybody bought from each other, I think the agricultural sector would grow so much more. So that is really what we're trying to highlight. So we're sneaking it in everywhere. You need to show us, are you just a loner doing your own thing, or are you participating with other people as well?
Agriculture is ensemble work, particularly with farming. It really is about working with other people. Just in closing, your thoughts around how the awards are contributing to the story of highlighting the work of the black farmer, because for a long time, apartheid years and before that, it was agriculture had a white face. We're getting into a new era where we're seeing publications coming up with more and more black faces. Agricultural communicators, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, are black people, black women, So in your thinking around the awards and what you are seeing, your observations as a woman in agriculture, how are the awards a critical factor in reshaping the face of agriculture?
Very critical, right? Because you can only dream about something if you see yourself doing it, right? So the more young female black faces that you see as a young person, you're starting to see yourself, right? You're starting to imagine yourself. Like, imagine the times when we didn't have a lot of female doctors. The more you saw them, you went, oh, it's
possible.
It is possible. And how the Americans had a Barack Obama, it is the same type of thing. Once you see it, you can believe that you can do it, and therefore you start doing it physically and practically. So that is what the awards are doing. And we're also saying we can celebrate each other. You can be celebrated, and we're also wanting to do away with the stigma of saying, we are taking back, I'm not going to go into that quite deeply, but we're wanting to, and people to understand that we are working together in this thing.
100%.
Right? We're all in this together. Yes, we were previously disadvantaged as black people, but we need to come to a point where we are now working in unison with the other races as well. You have seen in the awards last year, we had a variety of people, different people from different backgrounds that won, in different categories. So we're really wanting, one, to deal with the psychology of the young black person that, does not believe in agriculture, because previously agriculture was seen as a dirty sector. Now we're wanting to reshape that. But we're also saying to our parents who had land and stuff taken away from them, we're saying, let us work together. Every one of us in this rainbow nation has something to add. Let us take knowledge from each other and build this one thing for the future and sustainability of our country. People will come and take a certain group of people and say they're going to feed them somewhere else. But, we need to do it for ourselves. And that is really what we're trying to do. I think the biggest thing, that is what we're trying to do.
Okay. SA Agri Awards, aka fixing the country, aka building kingdoms. Oh man, I'm a huge fan of the SA Agri Awards.
Thank you so much.
And I believe in the work, and best of luck with the categories. The next conversation we're going to have, I'm going to hound you for the next conversation so we can talk about the next leg, which is now the nominations and the big ceremony that's going to happen later on.
Yes, we'll announce that very soon. People should please follow us on all of our socials. It's very simple. SA Agri Awards, that's where all of the announcements are going to happen. Last year we were in Durban, and we're going to announce it soon.
You're switching provinces. That's what
we're doing something. We're doing something. We're moving. We're moving. And all of this will be announced all in good time. What we're wanting to do now is just focus on the nominations, or entries rather. Really want people to ask us, ask all of the questions, get all the relevant documentation. There is a PDF document that you can download from the website that gives you all of the criteria. So please use or DM us. We do respond. We promise that we do.
They do respond. I've hounded them a couple of times, and they respond.
We respond, no matter how busy we get. We do respond. We have a WhatsApp line as well, where people are more than people can send us messages there as well, and we do respond on the WhatsApp line as well. Try not to call. Maybe we can schedule a call, but a WhatsApp message is always the best thing to do when you're trying to reach out for information. And also, don't say hi. That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, hi, and then what was hello, how can we help you? Thank you, Ayanda. You are a star in the galaxy.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, awesome stuff. SA Agri Awards, just for the last time, saagriawards.co.za if you wish to get your entry in before it's too late.